And you asking on my all next questions. I want to ask you, and you.
Well, it appears we have the
already,
same.
Yes, you already asked me.
We have the same logical flow,
Yes,
which
yes.
somehow
And
validates the process.
Who should not get a pit bull? Who's? What's people? What kind of people?
You know, there are people who are made better by owning a pit bull. I've seen a number of people who thought that usually it's mothers or mothers-in-law who say, "Oh, don't you dare have this have this pit bull around my grandbaby. I'll never forgive you if you do this." Well, you know, a year down the road, they want their own pit bull because pit bulls change people.
Of course.
So, people who are anti-pit bull to start with and who are incapable of change shouldn't waste a good pit bull on them. People who will not give a good environment, a good, loving, healthy environment to a pit bull should never, ever have the right to own one. A pit bull should not suffer because of human failures, human flaws. In terms of a pit bull doing harm, again, we've already talked about how there are very high prey drive pit bulls that are highly suited for hunting. Mm-hmm. Chasing a wild boar through the briars and prevailing. The dogs that are at that end don't need to be with the most docile humans. Mm-hmm. You can have a mismatch. And there are, in today's woke world, in which everybody's doused with a heavy dose of estrogen from degrading plastics and pharmaceutical products getting into our food, into our foodstuffs. We've created a class of people who are only a fraction of what people used to be. Male sperm counts have gone down more than 50% in the last 50 years. I mean, if it was down 3%, that would be alarming. But 50%, what the hell is going on? We need to have a class action lawsuit against the petrochemical companies for introducing these compounds so broadly into our environments, and it is changing the essential nature of men and women too. But it's more evident, more clearly evident in the men. Men are not like they used to be. Men used to aspire to be like John Wayne. I don't know if you know in your culture who John Wayne is,
yes, I know.
But he was a man's man, and he took pride in exposing himself to danger for the betterment of the people in general. He was a hero. Now, if that guy shows up today, then you got 100 dyke women who are pointing at him saying toxic masculinity.
It's very pleasure for me to listen to it.
Well, it sounds like we're on the same page, and most of us men instinctively are on that page because most of us know what it means to be a man. Certainly a lumberjack knows what it means to be a man.
Yes, not much people understand it. Not so much. It's a very big problem to understand it.
We need to take about $100 trillion from the petrochemical companies and distribute it amongst the people in general, and rethink a whole lot of the processes, the products that we expose ourselves to. I only drink out of a glass jar. Okay, I will not drink out of anything plastic, and I will try not to eat anything that's ever been exposed to plastics, because those are the petrochemicals that provide the route through which our environment is laden with estrogen. I take an anti-estrogen medication every day and have for 20 years, so that my whole being, including my mind, is not altered by the feminizing hormones.
Yes.
I want to be a man.
I think you're right. It's a simple question, but what lines do you use in breed? In all your life and just now?
Well, whenever I started out trying to organize what I hope to do with my life, which was better the pit bull breed and better its relationship with people so it could be understood for the wonderful life form that it is, Um, I started out with the breed standard.
Mhm.
You know, pit bulls are supposed to be athletically superior. They're supposed to be intelligent. They're supposed to love people.
Yes.
You know, the whole breed standard lays out the structure of how we should evaluate these dogs. And then I looked around to see which bloodlines honored one or more of these breed standard
Yes.
better. So the Bolio dogs are the most intelligent. They are just clearly that, and not only that, but they have the wonderful advantage of the intelligence and intensity that they specialize in is passed forward in a dominant fashion.
Mm.
So you don't have to have a pedigree full of Bolio. You just have to make sure that the phenotype of your source of Bolio is the phenotype includes intelligence and intensity.
Yes.
So if you have a dog that's 5 generations down from Bolio,
Mhm.
and he possesses the intelligence and the intensity, that's just as good as a direct son or daughter of Bolio that possesses.
Mhm.
They don't lose anything going from generation to generation. It's very possible and relatively easy to infuse your line of dogs with the intelligence and intensity of the Bolio line just by honoring that point. You just make sure that each generation that you breed possesses the phenotype, possesses the intelligence
Mhm.
and the intensity that you're chasing. You have a very different scenario with the Eli dogs, and it's probably easy to say that I built the majority of what I'm doing here around the Eli bloodline.
Mhm.
I mean, after all, first and foremost, a pit bull is athletically superior.
Mhm.
He's got to be pound for pound the baddest dude around,
Yes.
and the Eli dogs accomplish that, but they do so through recessive genes. So the only way you can manifest those properties in the phenotype is to make sure that you have those Eli genetics on both sides of the pedigree. So a wonderful formula, and the formula for Frisco was make sure you got the Eli, in his case,
Mhm.
Chinaman blood,
Mhm.
top and bottom.
Mhm.
Chinaman on top, but Chinaman mixed with Bolio on the bottom. So a quarter of the pedigree being Bolio, 3/4 of it being Chinaman, created a formula, a recipe, if you will, which would honor the requirements for bringing the desired qualities forward into the phenotype. So the recessive athletic Chinaman / Eli genes
Mhm.
passed forward in a recessive fashion had to be on both sides of the pedigree. The dominant genes in the Bolio blood that passed forward the intelligence and the intensity only had to be on one side.
Mhm.
And that produced Frisco, and then was off to the races after that.